Welcome to Teed Up Sports Podcast, your new go-to pod for sports, entertainment, culture, and humor. Today we talk about the NBA free agency and all the trades that went down. I'm Leak and I'm teed up.
Let's talk about the crazy NBA free agency for the past 2 days. It's just been nonstop Twitter notifications and Instagram pictures of everyone getting their jerseys swapped and whatnot. The NBA free agency has been absolutely insane, but I think it's only right that we start off the talks of all these free agencies and where all these guys are going with the guy that we've been talking about for the past year. We've been wondering where he was going to go this whole time. There was so much debate about it, so much talk. It was blowing up the media. Kevin Durant is officially a Brooklyn Net. He decides to make his decision, doesn't stay with the Warriors, and he signs a 4-year deal with the Nets. And did this surprise any of you guys, or what were you expecting with this? We all knew all off season and even before the off season during the finals that him and Kyrie were rumored to team up. And originally, that original team was the Knicks, and we all thought they were going to become Knicks.
Oh, you did.
Don't say we all. I knew KD.
That was the rumor of the media.
I knew KD was going to the. I knew KD was going to the Nets. I was saying that for the longest. I didn't think Kyrie would go. I thought it was going to be D'Lo and KD, but Kyrie's going to get there and fuck everything up. So that's what they want. They rather have the name than the players. So I knew he was going there though. Get the Knicks out of here, bro. We knew he wasn't going to the Knicks.
Not me. I didn't think he was going to the Knicks, but I thought after the injury he'd stay with the Warriors. The Warriors actually offered him the most money. They were able to offer him like a supermax or something like that. KD and Kyrie Irving are both Brooklyn Nets. I'm sure everyone knows this now, just going on social media and whatnot. But they both took a little bit of pay cuts to be Nets, and that's the surprising thing. They both took, I think, like $10 million off. So they could sign DeAndre Jordan, the Nets that is. So those are like the new big three in Brooklyn. Obviously, KD isn't playing next year, so I think that kind of hinders the contract. They're just kind of paying him 1 year as a wash. So he's going to be a Net for the next 3 years. And, I mean, it's just insane. What do you think this decision means for him? Like, why do you think he chose the Nets out of the Warriors or the Knicks or the Clippers or all these other teams that he could have gotten options from? Like, why the Nets of all teams?
Well,
all I know is a lot of fans are telling me the Knicks are supposed to get Zion. The Knicks are supposed to get AD.
Zion is a 14%
The Knicks are supposed to
chance.
get Kyrie.
The
Knicks are supposed to get everybody.
That's
What
so
happened is
crazy.
the Knicks got nobody. They got nobody.
They got
The
three
Brooklyn
power
Nets
forwards.
is the
I
better
heard.
team in New York. That are taking over New York now. Then the Knicks are horrible.
That's crazy.
No one
Don't
wants to
get
go to
me
the
wrong.
Knicks. They had an option to sign, they didn't go. So they don't want to go to the Knicks. It's clear we got the Nets. They might be the front runners in New York now. And it's just bad. Who did the Knicks sign? Taj Gibson?
They got
Yo.
Julius Randle. And
Julius
don't get me
Randle.
wrong. Don't
Julius
get me wrong.
Randle's not
He's
bad.
not bad.
He's
He's not
not
bad
bad.
at all.
He's not
But
bad.
he was
It's
just
just like, hey, we just got Julius Randle.
he was
Let's
like,
cash him out.
somebody got to get paid. He was like,
pay
they got to
someone
pay
at this
somebody. He was like, bring me my money.
You better tell him,
Bring me my money.
How much they pay him?
Wait.
They paid him. We'll pull up the
They
picture
paid him
right
for
now.
$63 million for 3 years.
Damn.
I mean,
Well, that's actually a really
that's
good
good
contract.
for-
Somebody
Yeah.
got to get paid.
Word,
Yeah,
they had to get that
what the
money
Knicks
somewhere.
are doing, and it's kind of annoying that the Knicks became the talk of the whole free agency, just because the media put the pressure on them. The media was like, oh, the Knicks are going to get these people, blah, blah, blah. The Knicks are going to get AD and Zion, and they were rumoring it. And I actually believe that is true. Like, KD and Kyrie probably would have teamed up on the New York Knicks had KD not gotten injured. That changes a lot. They probably wanted a little bit more of a safety net with a team like Brooklyn. It makes a lot of sense. This team was just in the playoffs. Obviously, they got rid of D'Lo. We'll get into him in a second because his whole situation is extremely surprising. But, the Knicks are just kind of giving away money right now. Maybe start this same exact routine up again in 2 or 3 years. See if they hit a home run on RJ. See if any of the young guys could step up and become solidified stars. We're just going to have to wait and see. But let's get into KD a little bit. Why do you guys think KD didn't stay with Golden State? Like, what do you think the motivation was? Because he could have had more money there, could have played with Steph, could have stayed in the Bay, built a legacy, continued a dynasty. What's the pot? Like, what could be a logical reason for him to leave Golden State in a perfect scenario? And he's already moved on from all the snake BS.
Nah, but there were talks about KD there were talks about how KD felt
Knicks,
disrespected by the Warriors organization.
Like, get it out.
Just to finish off with their pickups, the Knicks got Reggie Bullock for 2 years for $21 million. Yeah, we're gonna cash him out. We don't know, a lot of you guys don't know who that guy is. They also got
Reggie Bullock is, bro.
I don't know, man. They also got Wayne
Just came here to
Ellington,
clown
2
me
years.
on the
Wayne,
podcast.
2 years, $16 million. I know who Wayne Ellington is. You might not know who he is, but he getting $8 million a year playing on the Knicks. So the Knicks doesn't look like they did. They got Bobby Portis, 2 years, $15 million. That's about $15.5 million a year. What do you guys think about that? Bobby Portis, $15 million a year.
went from the Bulls to the
$15 million a year.
That was
Oh, they got out for Payton too. $8 million. Let's give him
little
$8 million.
handlebar. All right.
Yeah, give him $8 million a year. Yeah, just a horrible free agency for the Knicks. D plus.
D+.
I have to rate them D plus. Yeah.
Well, the Knicks are like I said, the Knicks are just giving away money. That's kind
Knicks
of
sign us. We'll play. We'll take $500K. Get that minimum for y'all. $500K. We'll play.
And Brock still will get signed.
I guess signed.
Oh
bro.
my
What are you
God.
talking about?
Back
All
to
right,
Kevin
all right.
Durant though.
Yeah.
But, like, what makes you guys think Kevin Durant would leave such a, in my opinion, like a perfect situation? Like, why would he just throw that all away for seemingly nothing?
Like I said, there was a lot of drama this year. Like the whole Draymond Green thing was big, and like he said, he felt disrespected by the Warriors organization. What do you think, Jordan?
I feel like there was some beef between KD and the Warriors. Like, once he got hurt, maybe there was like something that led to him playing or something while he was playing, and then like he just like, I don't know, maybe there was just something they did about his injury that he didn't like, so he was like, I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here.
I mean, me personally, it's just mind-boggling because KD, he kind of pulled like a snake move, as we all remember when he left the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this, like, I guess this isn't in the same category, but it's kind of just confusing, you know, because, like I mentioned earlier, like, the Golden State had everything, the money, and you know, the money isn't everything, but, you know, that's definitely something to be considered. You're not just going to throw away money. You're based in California, which is awesome. You have Steph Curry as your teammate. You have Klay Thompson as your teammate. You know, the Warriors ended up making moves that are going to benefit them. To me, like, you had a chance to really build a dynasty, but I guess he's kind of throwing it away. And I think maybe Kyrie Irving sold him on that, or I think the media bias kind of scared KD away. And I also know that his business, I think it's called 35 Ventures, is located in New York. So I figured he was going to come to New York, especially when he just said that, like, he was going to announce his decision on his company's website or something like that. So I guess it makes sense. I guess he wants to grow his company and build a future outside of basketball. But, I mean, KD, you know, we're going to have to see how he is after this injury. I think that's really going to be, you know, the story to tell as on whether he still wants to win championships or he's just building his brand outside of basketball.
A little more on KD feeling like he was disrespected by the Warriors. Pretty much, you know, KD's pretty, we all know he's pretty insecure, you know. He cares about his legacy. People have been chatting about him, so you can't get rings by yourself. You can't get rings by yourself. You join the Warriors. And, you know, that really suits him. He actually pays attention to these things. He looks at them, and it rubs him the wrong way. But back into his teammates disrespecting him as well. You know, you got Draymond Green. He was saying,
Said, we don't need you.
Yeah, we don't need you.
I dare you to leave.
We were winning before you. Like, they were saying, we were chance before you. Draymond Green was cursing him out all the time. So, and KD, he's insecure. Like I said, he feel that. So I feel like he just didn't want to be in Golden State anymore because he was disrespected by everybody.
He got his rings. He was out of there. I'm out now. Let me go get
Maybe
a ring.
now he can earn a ring. If he get this rings, I can respect KD if he wins some.
He has 2 rings, right?
Yeah.
He's got 2. I mean, but that caused also them losing the Warriors though caused them to get D'Angelo Russell. So they got him, I think, for 4 years, $117 million. Good.
God damn it.
I'm just hearing that they're that like they're gonna trade him, like whatever deal looks the best. That they're just gonna like give him away.
I mean, that wasn't official, but I saw that
$30
too.
million a year, bro. They said they signed for $30 million a year.
Yeah, he said like
17, bro.
Nah, he's talking about. They were saying like they're not gonna keep him long.
Yeah.
Like in a year, like next year or the year after, they're gonna trade him, see what they can get.
How do you think that's gonna fit for them this season? Like, what are you doing?
It's gonna. I'm
don't know.
interested, but
It's
I don't.
weird.
I don't like it.
It's weird. Like,
Yeah.
is he gonna come off the
Clay's
bench?
gonna be.
He's definitely not.
Clay's
coming.
not.
Clay's
playing,
gonna be out
Clay's not
until
playing
after
for, like,
All Star, if anything.
75%
Yeah.
of the season. So Clay's probably only gonna play like 25.
So it's gonna
games.
be fucking Curry at the 1, him at the 2.
Yeah.
I forgot Clay got hurt.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, and then when
But
Clay
even when
comes
Clay
back,
comes back, small
Clay's gonna have
forward.
to play the 3.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Curry at the 1, D'Lo at the 2, Clay at the 3.
Makes sense. Draymond Looney. That's actually a little lineup.
Draymond 4, yeah.
And actually, the latest rumors on that is the Warriors are just shopping D'Lo. Like, they just want to trade D'Lo and potentially get rid of him for Wiggins or something like that.
Wiggins? That's
what I like. Obviously,
horrible.
that's like a reach, but like that's what they were talking about. They were saying that they got D'Lo. Well, obviously, he'd be like the third splash brother or the second one until Clay comes back. But the Warriors said that, or actually one of the sources from the Stein line, I think he works for the New York Times or the New York Post, one of them, he actually said that it's just like the Warriors are definitely going to trade D'Lo. It's just a matter of when, maybe the All-Star break or something like that. But I mean, me personally, I really wanted to see D'Lo play for them, and I still do. You know what I mean? I still want to see him be a Warrior. I feel like he fits that system well. He'll force them to run pick and roll with Curry on his side. Both of them will be insanely open, and I think Curry could actually teach D'Lo a couple things, and them being teammates could benefit one another. I think it would be really foolish of the Warriors to just let him go. And on top of that, he's young. You never know how Clay's going to return off a torn ACL. If Clay isn't the same, you still have a guy like D'Lo who you could eventually build around until Curry retires or Curry gets really old.
Do you guys think the Warriors are a top 3 seed this year with this team going in with D'Angelo Russell? Mind you, Clay's injury. Are they top 3 seed? Are they going to finish this? You guys think he's going to finish top 3?
Don't know how they're going to play together. So right now, I would have given him top 3. No, just because.
What'd you give him right now? You think?
I'll give him like.
So you say at the end of the season,
5, 6. Yeah.
Say at the end of the season, the NBA saying his postseason's about to start. Next season, the Warriors are going to be 5th or 6th seed.
What do you mean next?
Yeah.
Like
I'm talking about this season coming up that they're about to play.
I think they're gonna.
Wow.
You think they're gonna be top 3?
I don't know. I think you can give them 4. Let's think about it.
I can see
4 because you got the
4.
Lakers.
I don't at all.
Lakers are checking in at 1.
Yeah.
Lakers 1. Rockets. I got Rockets at 2.
Checking in at 2.
I got 3. Denver.
No, Denver might check in at 2. They might be really improved
all right,
this
so
year.
either way, it's 2, 3.
No order,
in no order. Either way,
Denver.
we got Denver.
Then Rockets.
Utah's
no.
really good, bro.
We can't say
He just said
Utah's
Utah hater. That's why.
No, I don't.
Utah got like a lot of really good pieces, bro. They got Mike Conley. They got Bojan Bogdanovic.
This could be their year. They end up 4 or 5.
Donovan Mitchell's third year.
Weren't they 2 years ago? Weren't they 5?
They were the 6th seed this year.
6? No, I'm talking about 2 years ago when they
were the 6th seed that
year. They were 6th that year.
I mean, they were the fifth seed this year. They got Ed Davis. They got Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pacers. They got Mike Conley, which is huge. Like they're on paper, they're like a really good defensive team.
So we gotta wait to see how they play out.
I mean, like,
bro, I'm with.
I think Utah is definitely going to be better than the Warriors. But I mean, again,
definitely. But I can see them being.
The Jazz were 5th seed last season. 1 was Warriors, 2 was Nuggets, 3 was Blazers. Do you guys think the Blazers fall out the top 3? They just picked up Hassan Whiteside.
Fall out the top 3, but
they're still going to be above the Warriors, I think.
The Blazers are still a really good team, and another team.
Thunder were 6th seed as well.
Thunder too.
That's what I was going to say. Another team that's really scary. People should just watch out for is the Thunder, because if Paul George could emulate the season he had in the first half of the season last year, if he could put up MVP numbers, or if Westbrook could work on his game,
Lakers won though. We already got that.
If the Thunder could just play better, the talent is all there, and in the beginning half of the year, they were a top 3 seed for a long time. They just kind of fell off a cliff at the end of the season. To me, they're like counting them out is kind of foolish. I think they could definitely make some noise. They still have all their key pieces. They didn't lose anybody. The only person they had to really re-sign was like Nerlens Noel, which isn't a big deal at all, obviously. So their team is they're running it back. I'd keep an eye out on the Thunder too.
So pretty much what you guys are saying is we got 1 at Lakers, 2 Rockets, 3 Nuggets, and then the 4th seed, you're going to have the Jazz? Over the Blazers, over the...
No, I'm not talking about an order. I'm just naming those are the teams that's going to be above the Warriors. This is why I got them 6.
All right, so we got some lower tier teams that didn't do too well last season. We got the Pelicans and the Maverick this season. What do you guys think about these 2 teams? And will they make the postseason run?
Well, the Mavericks just signed Kristaps Porzingis to the official 5-year deal. He was obviously going to do this beforehand, but
they got a point guard too.
They got Seth Curry.
They were going to get
Seth Curry.
They got Seth Curry. They were supposed to get Goran Dragic, and the news was that they did, but it turned out to be false. I don't know why. I guess maybe the deal just didn't go through. Yeah, or maybe it just wasn't true completely. But I thought it would be really cool if they had Goran Dragic, because Goran Dragic could ball.
They're all European too.
Yeah,
that would have been crazy.
They actually got Kelly Olynyk from the Heat.
Oh yeah, I seen
and
that.
they got Derrick Jones Jr.
Yep.
Derrick Jones Jr. is a really good dunker, by the way. That's I always remember him for that, because he has crazy hops. But I mean, the Mavs, in my opinion, are going to be really good. It really depends a lot on Luka. But I think more so depends on Porzingis because Porzingis hasn't played in like 2 years, coming off a torn ACL. Like you got to keep that in mind. That's not an easy injury to come back from. If Porzingis like comes back and just isn't that good, that's a possibility, and they'd sign him for the next 5 years on a max contract. Like that's definitely something to be afraid of if you're a Mavs fan. I have a lot of faith in Luka. I know he's really good at basketball. Like I've seen what he's done, but I think Porzingis is the real question mark for the Mavs.
Don't forget that the unicorn is also coming back from rape allegations and getting beat up inside of a club.
That too, yeah. He
forget.
disabled all his comments on Instagram. I saw that today.
Those are two things.
He can't comment anything Porzingis related
because he's just sick of it. He's like, fuck him. He's like, fuck everybody. My own hood doesn't like me. New York doesn't like me. Damn.
New York hates him.
We also got the Pelicans here. They signed JJ Redick.
It's pretty cool.
A nice deal. I think they signed somebody else. I'm not too sure.
I like this
Pelicans.
Pelicans
they got JJ
team.
Redick, I think, for 20 something million. And do you guys think they're gonna
make the playoffs? Nah, not this year.
I don't
they
think
were
they're
already in talks
the
before they had JJ Redick.
Yeah, I know, but I like the future of this team. I just don't.
It's a cool team. They're gonna have fun. They, we're gonna see how New Orleans is as a crowd. I think they have a really interesting team. Zion's gonna sell tickets, no doubt. I think a lot of it depends on their rooks. How's Zion gonna play? How's Jackson Hayes gonna play? How's Lonzo gonna adapt in a new system? How's Brandon Ingram gonna come back? I know he has that. We talked about this on the last
blood
podcast.
Clots.
His blood clots, but we got to see how they're all doing. That's going to be an interesting team for sure. Let's talk about one of the crazier contracts, I think. Kemba Walker, 4 years, $141 million on the Celtics. They this was kind of a surprise because the Celtics didn't seem to want Kemba, but it ended up coming out eventually. And I thought they were just going to re-sign Terry Rozier and just like run it back with the original team without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward when they got hurt that year. But Celtics got Kemba Walker. Ty, how do you feel about that? Very optimistic Celtics fan.
I feel like that was a great pickup. We definitely lost Kyrie. Listen. I mean that 100%.
He's not even 100%. He's talking like a spokesperson.
I mean that 100%.
This is a great move for our team.
This is a great bro. Your team is the Knicks. You're done talking. It's my turn to talk. I'm talking. Your team had 17 wins, bro.
We're talking about
you. Got no one.
Yeah, you struck out on every play. I'm trying to talk and you keep interrupting me. I'm talking about the team. Like let me talk when I say what I gotta say.
We'll talk about Kemba and then talk about Enes Kanter. Yeah, talk about him. He's really good.
Yep.
Enes Kanter's
better than anyone on the Knicks. So anyway, so we got Kemba Walker. That's a great pickup. We were losing we were gonna lose Kyrie obviously to the Nets, so we needed someone to come in and fill that void. Kyrie Irving, he was he's a good player, but he was really cancerous in the locker room. He was a crybaby. He was messing up the chemistry. The year before that, when he got hurt, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So you could see that Kyrie was a cancer to the team, so they had to get rid of him. He was walking anyway. Quickly picked up Kemba Walker. He's definitely better than Scary Terry, as much as I like Scary Terry. We got Kemba Walker for, I think, the next 4 years. So
yeah.
And he's going to fit better with the team. This season's going to be good. Jason Tatum's going to emerge. Jaylen Brown.
They've been emerging for a couple years.
Kyrie hindered the growth.
like
That's my point.
Now.
Kyrie hindered the growth. Gordon Hayward's coming back off. He's got an extra year now of rest off that leg injury. So it's going to be a good team. We also got Enes Kanter. We got him for $10 million, 2 years, $10 million. That's $5 million a year.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, $5 million a year. That's a steal.
But he's your starting center.
That's a steal. We're definitely looking a little weak at the interior defense on our team because Enes Kanter, while he's a good offensive player, he's like probably the worst defensive center in the league. So that's an issue right there. They might give a lot of minutes to Taco Fall. It's a developing season. We got Carson Edwards too trying to develop everybody up. We got Tremont Waters from CT. He'll definitely probably get like 13 minutes.
I don't think Tremont Waters is gonna make the team.
I don't know. We don't got a lot of points.
He's not 6 feet.
We don't got a lot of points.
He's like
we only got Marcus Smart and Kimba. Really, and Marcus Smart be playing SG. So I think they're gonna.
Brad Wanamaker. Oh, he opted out.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's out of there.
So yeah,
best 3-point shooter all
time. We did a pretty good I'd give us like a B+ on our pickups for now. Wish we would have got like a stronger center. Maybe even a light B, but definitely a B+.
Like a C.
But that's cap.
Kemba's a C.
He's not.
Nah, he's definitely.
Bro, Kemba's like not a bad player, bro.
No, I never said Kemba was bad.
Last season, Kemba Walker averaged 25 points. With 6 assists and 4 rebounds. Like, he had a good season. He's an all-star season.
It's like a B-.
That's an all-star player. He's just a little bit off from Kyrie Irving, like, talent-wise, but he's going to fit better with the team chemistry-wise. So they're going to be better.
Perfect.
I see he's being 4th seed this season.
4th?
Yeah.
No, no third.
Very, very.
Nah,
So
nah,
what?
I don't think we'll get third. I don't think
you
we'll
got
get third.
Bucks, Sixers.
No order, Bucks, Sixers, probably Raptors. Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
say if
if
Kawhi
Kawhi
stays?
If Kawhi stays.
If he
Bucks-
doesn't, you
Pacers.
still got.
Pacers are high
Nah,
and wide.
I'm
though.
not worried
like
about the
Pacers
Pacers
in
at
third,
all. I'm not worried
yeah.
about the Pacers.
Victor Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, but they lost people. They lost Thaddeus Young. They lost.
They got
Bojan.
Jeremy Lamb.
They lost Thaddeus
They lost,
Young,
yeah.
Bojan. I think they lost somebody else too. I don't remember. Oh, Darren Collison. They lost 3 players. Those are both. All those were key players to that
in my
team.
opinion.
Darren Collison and I think Bojan both averaged over 15 points per game. So that's just a 30-point loss right there for that team.
Let's,
So I don't know. They lost a lot of players.
Let's talk about the Pacers though, because they signed Malcolm Brogdon. I think this is a really good contract for the Pacers. 4 years, $85 million. Brogdon is a beast. Like we saw
He's
how
good.
important he was to the Bucks, and I think the Pacers really need a guy who could just go get you a bucket and is versatile. A guy like Malcolm Brogdon will do that for you. I think he'll be their everyday starting point guard. I think him and Oladipo as a backcourt is like viciously good. Like they could get to the rim really quick. They could shoot kind of well. I'm not gonna say like really good, but Oladipo's kind of iffy. But Brogdon's a pretty good knockdown shooter. I think this team is pretty dangerous. They got Jeremy Lamb as a backup. You know, obviously he's always been like trapped on the Hornets, so we're gonna have to really see what he's all about now. They also got Edmund Summer for 3 years. I don't really care about Edmund Summer though. I don't even think he'll get a lot of minutes, but I think the Pacers are going to be a better team. They have a good coach. They have a good system. They got swept by the Celtics, obviously, but you could attribute a lot of that to them just not having a star player. And even the games versus the Celtics, a lot of it was just choking kind of down the stretch and not being able to score efficiently and things like that. So I'm not really sure like why, bro. There's too many Knicks jokes right now. But anyways, the Pacers are a good team. I think they could be like
They
a
lost
top
3
5
key
seed.
players. That's the problem. You know, like Thaddeus
I wouldn't
Young.
even say they're
Key
key
players,
players. though.
Listen, Thaddeus Young, Bojan, and Darren Collison are like
Collison's kind
that's
of
like
a key
a
player.
43-point
They replaced
combo.
they
all three
replaced
of them, bro.
Collison with Malcolm Brogdon though, and they added
He's
Victor
running the point?
Oladipo.
You run the point?
Malcolm Brogdon?
Yeah.
Probably.
All right.
He was a point guard
But
on the
Victor
Bucks.
Oladipo has been on the team. Like,
He's gonna be a shooting guard.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's gonna be fine. Like they didn't.
But he
really,
wasn't on the
they
team
lost
during the
play- and they
playoffs.
got. Yeah, but even the regular season they were good. They lost those players.
Yeah, but they
good.
were really good with Oladipo, and then once Oladipo got hurt, they kind of went on a decline.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like
lost their player.
it was really just their defense was really good without
Definitely.
Oladipo because they were really like a defense oriented team, but their offense. I mean, like there was times they were scoring like 10 points in a quarter. You know what I mean? Like they had a lot of like just offensive lapses where they couldn't do anything. So I think them adding technically three really good scorers. A guy like Jeremy Lamb could shoot a lot of threes. Brogdon is a professional bucket getter. Victor Oladipo, professional bucket getter. Like that's like for them, that's a massive upgrade because their defense will still be there. Their coaching will still be there. They still got Miles Turner. They still got Kyle. I don't even think they got Kyle Quinn anymore. But they still have good guys on the team.
You gotta
Talk about your man Al Horford. What happened to him?
I was gonna say I was looking at the Sixers contracts. That's what I was looking for. I see we got Tobias Harris here for $5 million, 5 years, $180 million.
That's
so
a desperate contract.
they cashed
So we
him
got-
out. And apparently,
wait.
you
we
heard
got
that? He said we got.
apparently,
Tobias Harris?
apparently the
Huh.
they offered Jimmy Butler that same contract to max him out, and he declined it because he wanted to play with Miami so bad. They also picked up Al Horford for $109 million. He wasn't coming back to the Celtics. He's a good player. So I see they got Josh Richardson as well. I
Well,
think
that
they had the
trade is actually still pending. A lot of
the
like
Jimmy
that,
Butler
that
thing?
trade didn't
No, it
officially.
said
No, it just
confirmed.
got-
It
it
got
just got
confirmed about
confirmed,
35 minutes ago.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so
They got Josh.
so it'll be like a
Richardson.
Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford at the 4, and then Embiid at the 5. That's a very good defensive team.
I
When
don't
you
know.
think about it.
I actually really
Pretty
hated that
good.
move, the Al
So, I
Horford
don't
move.
know.
I think the Jimmy Butler trade is really good. I think Josh Richardson is a pretty good player. I think he'll fit the Sixers like perfectly. But I think Al Horford, man,
That's a lot of big men.
that's a bad move
Yeah,
because
they're like the whole lineup's like 6'8" up.
That's-
Like they're playing
that's
defense,
crazy,
bro.
bro.
yeah,
Crazy.
they're going to be
They
a
got
tall
mad
team,
height.
and I think the only team that they could really give a run for the money is the Bucks. I think they're like a good team against the Bucks because
Yeah, Al
like
Horford.
clogging the paint against a guy like Giannis and just being very like just being a tall defensive minded team and not letting teams get to the rim. That's a good idea for the Sixers, but I think offensively they're just going to have so many lapses. They lost J.J. Redick, obviously. I think the best scorer on the team is Tobias Harris right now, and that's really not a good sign.
Embiid.
I mean, Embiid is going to probably be worse because the paint's going to be clogged with Horford. You know,
Horford
Horford
can
can't
stretch
really.
the floor. He can
he
stretch
could-
the floor.
he
He
could,
can knock him down. No, he can knock him down good. We've seen it in the playoffs too. He can knock him
could.
He
down.
did in the playoffs.
It's
Yeah,
easier on a
down.
system like the Celtics where you're surrounded by 4 small guys. You know what I mean? But in this system, Ben Simmons can't shoot. Where does Ben Simmons go? He has to be in the paint or
Horford
the
can
mid-range
pass
area.
too. He can play a little small point center. He can pass. He can
He
definitely.
can't play point center.
Yes, he
Come
does
on.
sometimes. He
There's
runs
no-
the play sometimes. Yeah, he does.
Point center is like Jokic or like LeBron.
Yeah,
on the small
Jokic
ball
is
Yeah.
point center. Yeah, Jokic
Al
is
Horford
Al
is
Horford's
nowhere
not that.
near a point
Nah,
center.
but he averages like 6 assists like per
Yeah,
game.
but he does a little
He's-
kick out
he's
on the
doing good
Celtics where there's
passes.
guys open, like a guy like Kyrie or a guy like Tatum. They're on the wing or they're shooting mid-range jumpers,
I mean, Tobias and Josh Richardson are 2 great shooters.
but that's it. You have
Yeah.
Ben and then you have Embiid, and that you're kind of screwed because
Yeah.
Embiid's gonna shoot threes, but he can't really stretch the floor like that. And Ben can't stretch the floor at all. So me and Malik were talking about this. Like, unless Ben Simmons learned how to shoot over the
like,
offseason,
yeah.
like they've got to know something that we don't because this team is just going to be really clogged in the paint. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of spacing. Defensively, obviously, you're right. They're going to be really good, but this team is just kind of like offensively, it's just going to be kind of a mess. I feel like, and I think they kind of have to like almost make Al Horford a bench player to really get like effective minutes out of everybody.
That's not good.
Ben just
Not like
comes out-
actually a bench player, but like they're gonna have to separate the minutes with both of them.
Ben just
You know
comes
what I
out
mean?
and becomes the third splash bro. Imagine
Bro,
that.
He's
like,
working
I'm
at
waiting
the
on
gym
that
right
year.
now for
The
shooting.
fuck yeah.
It's
Bro,
gonna
I
happen.
think
How
Philly's
tall
gonna
is
be
he?
good
He's like
next season.
6'6", right? He's like 6'6",
Who,
right?
Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah, he's
6'10".
6'10".
he's tall
Yeah,
as
he
hell.
is really tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 6'10".
Damn, the point
The
guard too.
6'10" splash brother, bro.
Bro,
Nah, he's
they-
gonna-
I'm waiting on the year that he comes out.
His shot just,
I'm waiting on the year he comes out and starts splashing
Nah,
shit.
the-
It's got to happen.
The Sixers are gonna have a good season, top 3 for sure. They're gonna have a
Could
good
see
season.
that.
They lost Jimmy Butler, which was a little crazy. He's on the Heat now. Why do you guys think Jimmy Butler wanted to go to the Heat? Obviously, they just lost.
Maybe you wanted
He
to
just
I
wants his own
think he just
team.
wants to
Maybe
make
he just
money
wanted
and,
to chase
and his
Dwayne
career's
Wade or
done.
something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think losing the way they did against the
But
Raptors.
it wasn't even about the money because they offered him more than he could have gave him. Max.
Well,
Yeah, it's not
I mean, it's
money.
not about the money, but living in Miami, like, you know what I mean? He's going to be the star of the show in Miami. He's going to have his own team. He's going to be able to do his own things. There's a potential that Bradley Beal goes there as well. You know, they could be their own little team. I think the Heat are cool. You know, he probably wanted to play with Tyler Hero really bad. So, but, like, I mean, he probably just wants to chill in Miami. He's probably done being that competitive. I don't really...
Yeah,
I would have
you know,
stayed
he's-
with the Sixers if I was Jimmy and ran it back, but, you know, to each their own. Like,
He's
Jimmy's a
always,
grown man.
complaining about like he wants to win. He wants to win. I don't really see why he'd go on the Heat because
He's
this
not
is not
winning
a
with
winning
them.
situation. Like Jimmy Butler can't be the best player on the team. That's an issue. They like. I
The
don't
team's
know
not
what
going
he-
far.
I don't
Yeah.
think so, but I mean, at
Yeah.
the same time, like Jimmy probably in his head, he probably thinks like he could be his own leader and do his own
True.
thing, and maybe build a culture. I'm also seeing rumors that Pat Riley could potentially pull off Kawhi, and that now that is where things get really interesting.
Whoa.
I
That
just saw a
is-
couple rumors on
Nah,
Twitter.
that's just a crazy thing. It's wild.
Like if they could get
He said, "Whoa."
whoa.
Whoa.
No, but if they
That
could
is
pull off
so
Kawhi, maybe Jimmy knows something, and that would just be absolutely
How would they
insanity.
pull off Kawhi? Like, whoa, how do you think
That would be
work, bro?
insane, bro.
I have no
That-
idea, but
They have room
possible.
to sign him though, right?
I think
Yeah, I think they do. They got rid of Hassan Whiteside. I think he had a big contract. They got rid of him.
if they,
So
this
Kawhi to the
Jeez.
we're not
Lakers,
even
bro.
thinking about
if
that.
Kawhi
yeah.
does go on the Heat, that
Kawhi
makes
to
them
the
a very
Lakers,
dangerous
bro.
team all of a sudden.
that does.
I would
Yeah.
like Kawhi to the Heat a lot.
I would
Him and Jimmy
love
Butler
that.
is a very. I don't
Him
know how you're
and
gonna
Jimmy?
score. Yeah.
And then,
And
you
then
know,
Jimmy
Max
might
is
be
Tyler
competitive
Hero.
again.
That's crazy.
Tyler Hero and Kawhi, don't even think about it, man. That's a dangerous combo.
So with
Two buckets at the same time.
Kawhi Leonard right now, people are saying they don't know where he's gonna go. He said he's not talking till Monday. That's today. He said he was gonna talk today actually
Yeah, he said he's not talking
About
till today.
about his free agency.
I
Big
think he's going to
teams-
give every team an actual meeting. So I don't even think like
I think that's He,
he
seems
probably
like
is going to
he's a
actually
nice guy
talk
like
to
that.
the Clippers,
Yeah.
actually talk to the Raptors, actually talk to the Lakers, and potentially even talk
Maybe
with the
the
Heat.
Heat.
Like that would just be
I've seen him
insanity.
talking to he got some low key. No one even knew.
Can I
Yeah.
just say that like Kawhi's uncle plays such a big role into like what he does, bro? They gave this guy his own notification on Bleacher Report. It was like Kawhi and Uncle Dennis are to meet with teams, and I was like, who the fuck is Uncle Dennis? And I was like, oh, that's Kawhi's uncle. And like I read about it, and it's like. His like uncle's like his right hand man when it comes to making these like choices since like his dad died and shit.
That's some
I
Kawhi
was like,
shit. Yeah.
damn, bro, like what? like imagine he just said like, yeah, we out to New York or something. Boom, Kyrie, fucking Kawhi's in a Knick or something.
That's tough. I mean, that's like some movie show type shit. But
Yeah, that is some
It's
shit.
cool.
like
It's
you and
it's
your uncle.
GTA.
Yeah.
Like it just came out of nowhere, like Uncle Dennis. Like, who the fuck? What?
Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. So they got Brooke Lopez again on a 4-year, $52 million contract. They re-signed Chris Middleton to a supermax, 5 years, $178 million, which I don't think Chris Middleton deserves. No offense to Chris Middleton. I think that's a crazy contract. He's a very good player. They had to re-sign him, but he could have took a discount. He's kind of nuts for that. They also got Robin Lopez, brother of Brooke Lopez, for 2 years, $9.8 million, which is kind of funny to me. They're going to have the two Lopez brothers off the bench. And they also got Wesley Matthews for 1 year, $2.5 million. To me, the Bucks are still the class of the East. I think if Kawhi leaves the Raptors, unless he goes to a team like the Heat or something like that, it'd be almost impossible for me to see a team beating the Bucks. They got everyone back that they needed. Losing Middleton would have been a serious blow. They also got George Hill back, which is extremely impressive. They got him back for 3 years and $29 million. The Bucks are doing what I think the Sixers should have done and just run it back. You know, you're close, no cigar. It was a learning experience for the whole team. You know, you got a great coach. Everyone's there. You know, the money's there. I think they should just run it back. They're making a good decision. They're doing what the Sixers should have done. And I think it's going to pay dividends. And I think they're going to win the first seed in the East again. And they should just be the favorite to win the East and go to the finals. There's not a doubt in my mind about that.
You're right about that. It's like, yeah, I definitely do feel like the Sixers should have just ran it back because they did come that close. But the Bucks definitely are gearing up for another run at it, and I do see them being just as successful as they were this year.
What do you guys think about some of those contracts? Like the Chris Middleton contract, to me, 5 years, $178 million.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was too
bro.
much.
That's
Yeah.
absurd. That's a
Especially for
lot of
person
money.
that, like barely showed up in the fucking finals.
Or in the conference
Yeah,
finals.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Conference finals.
He didn't barely show up, but I mean,
he definitely
he
should have
did-
done more.
he should have done.
He could have
more.
done more.
Could have, yeah.
Think
Could have.
about this. The Pistons got Derrick Rose for 2 years, $15 million.
What
do you guys
I don't
think
really
about
think
that?
that. Like,
Nah,
no
it's just
disrespect
crazy.
to D Rose, but
I
I don't
just-
think that matters.
He's getting.
It's just crazy to me how like we have two like former MVP candidates on the same team now,
I
and they're
know,
not
right?
even good. You know,
Yeah.
like
Blake
Griffin,
Blake
Derrick Rose. Like,
and
imagine
Derrick
them
Rose
in
won
their
MVP.
prime.
Blake,
Imagine them in their prime.
Blake Griffin's still good.
He's
Blake
good.
Griffin's
No,
but
he's
not-
good, yeah.
Yeah, he actually
Blake
probably
Griffin's
playing his
still
best.
good.
Yeah, he's playing his
basketball.
best ball.
Blake
Yeah, he
Griffin's
can shoot
still
now.
good.
and
Derrick
shit,
Rose,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Derrick
I am glad though that the Derrick Rose story has
Still
the story
going.
continues. So
Yeah.
it's like Derrick Rose is not done yet. I have yet to watch that movie, but
It's still sad to
heard
see
that
that
shit's
shit.
pretty
Now that
sad.
movie is crazy sad. Don't
Yeah,
watch that
that
shit.
shit's pretty
The
sad.
Derrick Rose documentary.
No, I haven't even.
That shit is
I didn't know
crazy
he had a
sad.
There was
documentary.
It's
a video about when he found out he was going to
traded
get
to New
traded.
York?
I was like,
I saw
I
that.
felt
Yeah.
bad for him. I was like,
That
damn,
whole movie was just.
you want a hug, bro? Like that shit was insane. But
I mean,
yeah,
shit happens though.
I'll never
I feel
forgive
like
D-Rose for being so bad on the
I feel
Knicks.
like it's gonna be nice if
You said you feel like what?
I'll never forgive him for being terrible on the Knicks. He was literally one of the
Did he
worst
average,
basketball
like,
players
20?
I've ever seen.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No, he was
doing
atrocious.
He
He was
was
like
20
any
points,
real
like, I
Knicks
think
fan will
like
tell you that.
46%.
Yeah.
Call Dame up and be
Dame
like,
said
hey,
he
Dame.
Dame said Derrick Rose was doing his thing on the Knicks.
No, he
he
wasn't.
did.
He was
I'll call him
literally
He
right now.
averaged
horrendous
like
on the
20. What do you
Knicks.
expect?
I'll call him right now.
He was horrendous on the Knicks, and the Knicks weren't even bad. Besides D Rose was.
I
was
mean, you wanted him
partially
to
the reason
average
the
like
team sucked.
28
No.
coming off of that injury.
No, but
like,
he was a bad point guard. He was selfish. He turned the ball over a lot. He took a lot of terrible jump shots. He
I
just
can
wasn't a
see
good
that.
player. Like we had Porzingis and Melo who were both doing their thing almost on a nightly basis, and D Rose was just
He was
the
probably
third
pissed.
star we need, and he
Bro,
wasn't.
D-
came from
D-Rose-
Chicago, had to play for the Knicks. He probably had.
D-Rose
Who was on the
averaged
team at that
18
time?
points,
Kristaps and
4
Melo.
assists,
Kristaps.
and
Oh,
4
Melo's
assists,
still
and
there?
rebounds.
Joakim Noah.
Oh, Melo was still there. Nah, yeah, that's some selfish shit then.
Bro, he averaged 18 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds.
4 assists.
Yeah, he was doing his thing.
How-
Did he get hurt on the
43.
Knicks too?
What,
That was good. He
what
played
was his-
64 games.
What was his
64,
percentage?
just like-
He wasn't like hurt.
How did he get hurt? Or how many turnovers did he have?
Oh, turnovers. Let's see. For his turnovers, he had.
Probably averaged like 2.
He just wasn't.
Doesn't say on this
Wasn't
one.
good.
I'll have to check on another one. Doesn't say on this one his turnovers per game.
I would assume he averaged like
Maybe
2
like
or
2 and a
3.
half.
Yeah.
No, like 4.
No.
4, bro. It's not that
He
easy to
wasn't.
average 4
No.
turnovers.
I might be
Oh.
gassing it, but he was bad. Let's talk about the Kings. The Kings made some like low key moves. I think they actually gave the worst contract out of the year, or the whole offseason, I should say. 4 years, $85 million for Harrison Barnes. That's a terrible contract. That's, to me, the worst contract of the offseason.
There was 2 turnovers.
I don't
I
like...
said 2.
Yeah, you're guessing it.
There
It
was
doesn't
2
matter.
turnovers,
Anyways, like I think Chris Middleton's contract is bad, but I get why they gave it to him. You know what I mean? They're a competitive team and they have to. And Chris Middleton has always been a buck. You're showing some respect towards him just being a part of the organization for as long as he's been and overachieving, which he's done continuously. But Harrison Barnes, they traded for him, from the Mavericks. They gave technically assets away to get him, and then to sign him for 4 years, $85 million on a young team that kind of doesn't need him as is. He's probably only taking away generous minutes. That's just a terrible contract. And to make matters worse, they got a player who I believe is better in Trevor Ariza for basically half the money, 2 years, $25 million on a way better team-friendly contract. So to me, the Kings they just got literally fleeced. And the funniest part was Harrison Barnes posted a picture of him in a Kings jersey talking about hey, never doubted or anything like that. Just like a motivational quote. But in the picture, he missed the shot. It was literally about to hit the rim. So, to me, the Kings got absolutely finessed. This is just terrible for them. They also got Dwayne Dedmon, which is cool, but they have enough big men as is. But 3 years, $40 million, I guess you can't go wrong. And they also got Corey Joseph for 3 years, $37 million. There's just a lot of depth on that team. I don't know what they're doing.
Where's Boogie going?
Yeah, Boogie
No one,
is just
he hasn't even
silent.
No one's even said anything about him yet.
Boogie is just silent.
Watch he gets no contract and
I
just
hope the
retires,
Celtics
bro.
pick him up.
That's crazy. You help the Celtics?
I hope we pick him up.
I feel like he'll go anywhere. At
Watch
this
he
point.
just retires or takes it.
Yo, who would be cool for
who just
13
take
million.
a?
Why would he retire?
Because he just gets no contract.
I mean,
that's impossible. Some
Celtics
teams-
Melo don't got a
operate on
contract
that.
and he
Bro.
didn't retire yet.
Who got the vet minimum today? Wasn't it? It was somebody just signed the vet minimum.
I didn't
Seriously?
see that.
I think it was Austin Rivers. They made him sign the
No,
vet
I don't
minimum.
think so.
Austin Rivers
He
is
signed back with the Rockets for a good price, I think. $20 million, maybe.
Someone
2
signed
years.
the vet minimum today.
Austin Rivers 2 years, $4.4 million, which is
Yeah,
actually really
that's
low.
actually
Austin
low.
Rivers is
That's
a good player.
That's the vet minimum.
$2
No, it's
million?
not.
Okay.
Vet minimum is
It's
like
What,
thousands.
bro?
500K.
Somebody signed for.
Yeah.
All right, so can someone search it
I'll
up?
search
please?
it up.
But I really want to talk about what we got here is the Lakers. A lot of the players have been getting nabbed up in free agency. There's really no one left. The only big player left is Kawhi.
Bro, because we're waiting on Kawhi, bro.
Who are the Lakers going to get? What do you got
JJ
to do?
Barea
They
went
only
back
have
to the Mavs on a veteran minimum.
6.
Oh,
He's a
bro.
vet. They only have 6 players on the team right now. What are the Lakers going to do? All this money, who can they sign?
I mean,
all they're gonna do is just trust Kobe.
there are like a bunch of stars that haven't gotten signed, like a bunch of low
Not
key people.
stars.
Not stars.
not
Kawhi,
stars.
Boogie, Marcus Morris.
But
That's
then
really
you gotta
it, in my
They
think-
need
opinion.
Morris. They need him.
Like I wouldn't mind like a J.R. Smith coming to join us, maybe, or like a.
That's
That's
horrible,
bad.
bro.
Nah, I feel like he.
You guys just want you guys just
What
want
is
like
I just
Embiid.
want someone.
What about
Nick
Carmelo
Young?
Anthony?
You see, Melo. I feel like Melo.
I thought he was gonna
I
go
feel like
to
there's a
Lakers.
big chance that Melo will come and join us, but
Yeah.
I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like no one's. I don't think Kawhi is gonna come to us. So I feel like no one's gonna take that max spot because there's like no one else to give it to.
Well, if Kawhi doesn't come, you guys have to throw away money.
You're going to have to get Carmelo. I think Carmelo's going to come to the team.
Well,
Yeah, he's-
Carmelo you could get basically for free. So to me, like if they have a max spot and they don't give it to a max player, they're screwed. They're screwed. They have to spend that money somewhere. That's exactly what the Knicks did because they had 2 max contracts, like room for max people. It's funny, I guess. So, but what the Knicks did is because they may as well just sign 2 or 3 year deals because they could just throw that money away. And in 2 years, both those guys are off the team, and then they have the 2 max spots again. You know,
Yeah,
they have
so-
they have to get rid of that money, or else it just eats up.
I wouldn't mind like them bringing back Nick Young. I'd be down for that.
Bro.
Yeah, it would be
Nick Young, he's
cool to watch. I
been
guess
in
he wouldn't
the
really do
gym.
anything.
Yeah.
Nick Young, I feel like Nick Young is actually like a good player, and that's somebody they could actually bring back and who would actually have success on a team like the Lakers. But I mean, they could have had D'Lo, but they just didn't. And you know that he's on the Warriors now. The Lakers are just in a very weird spot. But let's talk about who do you guys think won the draft? Who do you or not the draft, the NBA offseason? Who do you think had the best offseason? Who do you think got the most steals? Who do you think got the best players? Who in your team won the offseason?
So far, I mean, it's either the Lakers or the
Lakers
Nets.
definitely probably
The
had
Lakers. The Lakers didn't even do anything.
Nets had the best.
They got
offseason.
AD, bro.
But I'm talking about like free agency mostly.
Oh well,
Like who do you think had the best free agency? I should have said like who got the best steals, best players.
Nets got the best, bro. The Nets, they got
No,
Kyrie,
I don't know. I think
KD,
Jazz got the best.
Who did the Jazz get?
I think Mike Conley's a huge impact on that team,
bro.
bro.
That was like in the same thing as like
Davis,
Anthony Davis,
Bojan
bro.
Bogdanovic,
All right, well, that's still off season. All
I-
right, well, we're talking about just the fucking like from like yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the Nets, bro. Like, I mean, there's really no one else.
I'm gonna say the Bucks had the best offseason because
crazy,
they resigned the guys they needed
That's
to.
dangerous cap.
And it's not dangerous cap because all right. So I'm gonna talk about why the Nets didn't win the offseason.
Dangerous
Reason number
cap.
one, they didn't win the offseason. KD isn't playing next year, right? So next year is kind of a wash. Years after that, KD has his Achilles fucked up. There's a lot of question marks with KD, and it wasn't only the Knicks who had this problem with him. Like this was literally just a common concern about KD's future and how he will return. I'm not a big fan of Kyrie. I've been not a hater of him, but I've always been critical of him just because I never really saw what other people saw. I always knew he was a good scorer and things like that. But we saw it with the Celtics, picture perfect display like of what he does to teams when he has to lead them by himself. Like me personally, the Nets are like I would be happy with KD and Kyrie. You know, who wouldn't be? But I just don't think the Nets won the offseason. I would definitely take the Bucks because they were signing the guys they needed to. They got a little bit better, and they didn't spend that much money. Like obviously, Chris Middleton, but they got Brook Lopez on a pretty friendly deal. He's cheap. They got Wesley Matthews for nothing, and they got Robin Lopez for nothing.
Yeah,
that makes the team better.
Bucks went to the conference finals last year. It's not like they got like crazy better.
Bro.
Like the Nets, they got Kyrie.
The Nets
They're
got
probably not
Kyrie
going to
for
go to the
this season.
conference finals this year, but they got KD when he comes back. They have a chance to be like a team you have to watch out for. Bucks were already a nice team. Like their offseason was just like, all right, they did what they needed to do.
If you can get Kevin Durant, you get him.
That's what
at any cost. If you can get him, you can go get him. They got him. He's not going to play. He's not going to play. They couldn't get him. And they won't go. They could. He's not going to play this season. Obviously, he's hurt. That's fine. They're going to have Kyrie lead that show. They'll probably maybe second or first round out. But next season, that's what they're really planning for. Not this season, coming next season. They're going to have KD back with Kyrie. That's going to be a crazy team.
And who's the third best player on that team?
There's plenty. They got DeAndre Jordan in that deal. They got
DeAndre Jordan.
They got DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan averaged 12 points and 13 rebounds this season.
He was on the Knicks. I literally watched him. He can't. He
the
can't
numbers
shoot.
don't
He
lie.
can't stretch the floor.
He's not a shooter. He's a protected paint and rebound. He's not a shooter. That's not what he does. He's going to protect the paint.
He's a good defensive player, but he's also getting older.
That's what they need. They have no one. The Nets are weak at the center position with Jared Allen, so their interior defense is weak. They needed to play like DeAndre Jordan. That was a good pickup for them. They also got Joe Harris too. They got players. It's gonna be
Harris. We saw Joe Harris in the playoffs.
LeVert. They're gonna have Kyrie, Kevin Durant not this upcoming season, but next season the Nets should very well be a problem.
We saw what
best free agency.
We saw what happened with Joe Harris in the playoffs. Don't even give me that.
Oh.
They still got Spencer Dinwiddie and stuff, but
LeVert too. Jared Allen. That's a solid team. They're gonna be good. The Knicks would love to have that roster. Sorry, come on. Let's get it going.
All right. Who lost the offseason in your guys' mind? Like, which team just didn't
I don't know why he asked that. Bro.
Why?
We're all going to say
bro, the Knicks, bro. The Knicks have the worst offseason in
like history, in NBA history, bro.
They missed the draft, bro.
God, bro.
They missed the free agents.
All that money.
I think it's the Lakers because they needed a third. They made enough money to get a third max contract. They didn't do it, and they didn't even sign role players.
Day in the history of the New York Knicks franchise. And I'm going to tell you why it's the worst day. It's the worst day for me, too. Because Max Kellerman is absolutely right. The New York Knicks have lost New York to the Brooklyn Nets. They are no longer
Stephen A. Smith isn't our
the
spokesperson,
team,
bro.
the basketball franchise that represents the city. Here's where it gets really...
I mean, he's spitting facts, bro.
The Knicks had the worst off free agency. That was just they did all that tanking for what? They did all that tanking because they were supposed to get Zion. They didn't get him. They did all that talking.
Enough with the Zion. Nah, you're
didn't get
KD.
Bro, you were jacking Zion too, bro.
You were jacking Zion.
He said,
Bro,
it's
a lottery. It's a lottery. You can't just get Zion.
You're jacking him. You guys didn't get him. You're upset.
It's a 14% chance to get the first seed.
I didn't say Zion.
It's a 14%
I
chance
didn't
to
say
get the
Zion
first
was
seed.
So why would you jack him that much?
Root for the first
said
seed.
that,
Bro, what?
You said that. You said Zion.
No, the Zion. You didn't get anything else. The Zion thing is stupid because it's 14%.
Then y'all wanted Kyrie. I didn't get Kyrie. Then y'all wanted AD. Didn't get AD. And then they wanted KD.
He said AD and Kemba was going there.
They said everyone was going to the Knicks. Everybody said everybody was going to the Knicks.
The group
the Knicks got nobody.
He got hurt.
He was like,
They got
Iggy's
nobody.
and
That's
Nick.
He said Iggy's and Nick.
Iggy's and Nick. Boom, Grizzlies.
No, because Iggy said some shit like,
As soon as he texted that, boom,
like
Grizzlies.
Iggy was like trolling. We could talk about that another time. But
Yeah, so that's an F. The Knicks, they had the worst free agencies. It's simple. They
I
got
think the
no
Lakers
one
had the worst
that
free
they
agency.
were
How do we have the
Lakers
worst
didn't do
free agency,
anything.
bro?
Like, come on,
Bro,
bro.
we
you
want.
guys let JJ Redick walk by. You let Trevor Ariza walk by. You let Wesley Matthews walk by. You literally let all these good players on cheap deals who would probably kill to play for LA just walk. And if you guys don't get
I thought
Kawhi,
they did that
you guys
because
could
they were-
still be good if you get Kawhi. But if you don't get Kawhi, you guys are going to have to sign like Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, I thought they were doing that because they're
So-
getting D'Lo, but D'Lo
They
didn't
didn't
even
get
go
D'Lo,
there.
yeah.
So
the
they did that,
Lakers,
yeah, they
the
passed
Lakers
on some
rolled the
point
Lakers
dice
did
and
bad.
gambled a lot.
they did.
That's
bad,
fun.
So
That's fun, bro.
Right now,
the Lakers have been
the
fucking
Lakers
up
got
this.
a D plus.
Yeah, right now the Lakers have been
plus.
fucking up this offseason.
They can't
with
get
that whole
Kawhi
thing with
F.
If you
Mag-
don't do anything,
They
with that
can't
whole
get
thing with
Kawhi
Magic
F.
Johnson and that
They
whole
get
thing
Kawhi
with
like
Rob
people.
Pelinka.
All right.
But, dude, we wanted AD and we got him. So,
But you still need other players on a basketball team.
all right, we do, and
Not
they'll
really.
figure it out some way,
literally not really.
Well, with LeBron and Anthony
right.
Davis, that's an issue itself. Like, those two players on the same team, that's a massacre.
And
So
Kyle
that's
Kuzma, but,
literally
they
a
don't,
problem.
I don't even think they have like a full roster.
So, you know,
They
they
don't.
have 6 players
They
right now.
don't.
They have 6 players.
Like that's
Yeah,
terrible.
that's not a full
You need-
roster,
you need to sign
obviously.
people.
That's
They gotta
good.
sign.
It's the
They'll
summer,
probably bring back
bro.
Rondo.
It's the summer.
They'll probably get Rondo.
There's only like 6
We're
free
in
agents.
the,
left.
bro, we're in June, bro. Like, what do you mean?
That's when free agency. We're not in June anymore. We're in July 1st.
We're at the start of free agency. What do you mean? We have time.
And bro, free agency.
Bro,
like,
the Lakers
it
are not
usually
going to
doesn't
walk
go
in.
this fast.
The
It
Lakers
already
are not
happened.
going to walk in with 6 players, bro.
Well, yeah, but they're
All
gonna
right,
pull
so
up
they're
guys
gonna
from the
figure
G
it out.
League. They're gonna
All right.
sign random guys off the street.
All
They're
right.
gonna give a
Might
random
even
max
sign
contract to someone.
Jello Ball or something. I don't fucking know.
Joe
But we'll
Ball?
figure. I said Jello Ball.
Jello Ball.
What is that?
That's
LiAngelo
That's
Ball?
the third-
You're not gonna
yeah,
sign Jello
LiAngelo.
Ball, dude.
Yeah,
Get the
bro.
fuck out of here.
You never know.
Well, what would you guys rate your own team's offseason? So, I'm a Knicks fan, obviously. I'm going to give our offseason like a D. It's pretty disappointing. I had high hopes, but like eventually, like kind of before the free agency like officially started, I had a feeling we weren't going to get KD and Kyrie. I kind of understood that. The KD injury changed a lot. We were going to be a lot better had we just not gotten... If KD had just not gotten injured, that kind of changed a lot. So, Knicks, D+. At least we didn't throw... Like, Julius Randle's a pretty good contract, so live with the results, I guess. Jarny, how do you rate the Lakers offseason thus far?
I give it a C-. This whole thing with Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, and then a lot of drama on the Lakers. So hopefully we figure it out soon. Hopefully we get Kawhi.
How would you rate the Celtics offseason, Ty?
I'd give us a B plus on our little thing. We got Kemba Walker to replace Kyrie Irving. We needed to get him. We got Ennis Canada provided some offensive production. So, and we're gonna have a good season. So I think I'll give us a B plus, maybe a B. And Malik, what about
I
you?
don't have a team, so
But you're like
Oh,
a D-Lo
man.
fan.
all right. Well, D'Lo went to the Warriors, so I'm gonna say like C as of now until we see how they play.
You don't have a favorite basketball team?
No,
He does it. He really does it. Like,
I'm a D'Lo fan though.
Get the fuck out the studio, bro.
Oh,
All right, chill, let's not-
You're a Lakers fan who hasn't even said you're a Lakers fan since like middle school, bro. You never even gassed the Lakers till middle school. Let's not start.
Oh.
All right, here we go.
Let's not start. You're a
Here we
Lakers
go.
fan. You've been a Lakers fan, but you don't even watch their games. You didn't watch it until
man.
like LeBron went there.
I didn't know you were a Lakers fan until this year, Jarny.
Yeah,
That's
like,
cap.
Nah,
he is a Lakers fan. He's a longtime Lakers fan. He didn't start like going for them till recently.
We were losing, and Kobe retired. I don't know.
I mean, Mac's team been losing his whole life. He's still. I mean, I
Not
think
my
he's still
whole
a fan
life.
of him.
I'm still a fan of the Knicks, obviously.
Jeez.
You would hope so.
I think he said sheesh. I'm pretty fucking smacked. Not gonna lie.
All right.
we gotta
Anyway, let's
end
get to the best bets. So let's do our recap for year to date. Jarny doesn't even bet anymore. He's 4-3. I'm 11-6 right now. Malik's 9-5, and Ty is 10-6. So we're actually all making pretty good money. Even Jarny, who usually never wins bets. So I'm the only one with a bet for tomorrow. It's a baseball game. I know, boring. We got the Oakland A's versus the Minnesota Twins. We got Jake Odorizzi for the Twins and Daniel Mengden for the Oakland Athletics. So this is a pretty important game because the A's have been hot as of recently. They're 7 games over 500, and they're actually finally making some noise. They're at home for this game, and I actually really like the A's in this spot. They're underdogs. They're plus 110 on the money line. To me, this is a perfect spot to bet the Oakland Athletics. They've been running hot. The Twins have been kind of coming back to earth a little bit, losing. I think they're 5-5 in their last 10 games, off the top of my head. Jake Odorizzi has been a very overrated pitcher. To me, I really don't like him at all. He has a low ERA, but a lot of his advanced stats suggest that he's getting kind of lucky and that he actually isn't as good of a pitcher as one would seem. And on the flip side, we got the A's. We got Daniel Mengden. This is a guy who last year was very, very good and then experienced some injuries, and it kind of took him a while to get back to the spot where he once was. But he had a very, very good start last time out. I think he threw 7 innings of no-run baseball. I think he only gave up 1 or 2 or 3 hits or something like that. Again, just off the top of my head. But he had a very good performance. I was watching it. It was against the Cardinals. And, I mean, I was very impressed with Daniel Mengden there. I think we're going to finally see some of him, how he was good last year. And he's going to probably start repeating that for this year. He had, one good start last year. One good start last start. He's going to figure it out. They're going to be a good team. Some underdog money on them. Take the A's tomorrow, 10 p.m. game, Eastern time. They'll beat the Twins.
So you're saying the Athletics are a lock for tomorrow?
I don't use the word lock on
stream.
Yeah, but it's a good bet. It's definitely a good bet.
So what's the percentage you got on the Athletics winning this game tomorrow?
200.
No, percentage.
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm going to have to, like I said, we got to wait for lineups and stuff still, but okay. I like this bet for the podcast, guys, so it's my podcast bet. But I don't think you guys got any bets?
No, this week, no.
All right, so that'll wrap it up for us today. We'll probably be back on Friday. We're going to have to wait and see. We normally record on Thursdays too, but with 4th of July coming up, I don't know, it's going to be hard to get some studio time in there. But thank you guys, as always, for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at TU SportsPod. I repeat, that is at TU SportsPod. Thank you guys for listening, and be sure to listen to us on SoundCloud, Podbean, Spotify, the whole shebang, Apple Podcasts. Jordan Bell has agreed to a contract with the Timberwolves, which is random as hell. Jordan Bell sucks, though. We saw it in the playoffs. But, yeah, I'm Brock, and I'm out.
We're everywhere and anywhere. I'm Jarny, and I'm out.
I'm Leak, and I'm out.
I'm Ty, and I'm out.